How's everybody's daylight savings been? It has been very, very funky for me. Just losing that hour has been kind of... It's been weird. You get it back later, though. Let me just make sure I'm live on everything. Everybody's day has been going swell. Just losing that hour. I'm always surprised at my audio. How's everybody's, because my audio sounds like fine. I won't say it sounds good, but it sounds fine. But almost every time that I'm like recording a video and putting it through Vegas 16, I think, is the one that I got, it sounds like absolute dog shit. It's the thing that makes me not want to do videos the most. It's the thing that makes me not want to do videos the most. It's the thing that if you hear me now, it's like fine. But if you go to like my Fallout 3 video was like one of the worst audios I've ever had. And it's the same, I use the same process every time. But sometimes like the rendering, I guess, just gets fucked up. Anyways, enough about that. We have some videos to watch, guys. Some videos. So today, I'm covering two things. Because I know about both of them. No intro segment because I don't really have anything. HellDivers 2 and Caleb Hammer. So I know a lot about HellDivers 2 because I was about to do a video on it. I got super, I wouldn't say ingrained in the community, but I learned a shitload about it to try to make the video good. I never ended up doing it because there was one big update that kind of fucked everything up. I just complete third-party influence that I wrote in my original script had to happen or else the game would die, and then it happened, and then I was like, oh, well, I'm fucked. There's nothing to make a video about anymore because HellDivers 2 was in such a bad state, and I languished. I put it off for so long. I couldn't make the video, but I learned a lot about the community in the process. And then the other one is Caleb Hammer. My girlfriend and I are daily watchers of this, or not daily, but every single time there's a Caleb Hammer video, we put it on. We mostly ignore it. It's mostly background noise at this point. Because I will be totally honest, the last few videos I've thought that he has been super annoying. Way more than normal. So yeah, let's get into the HellDivers 2 video. So to start this off, with HellDivers 2, there was some crazy shit. Essentially, what's been going on for the last few months is a lot of the player base, I would say maybe 40 to 50% of the people who are online have felt that the community, or not the community, partly, they felt that the devs are extremely out of touch with how the game actually plays. These are termed chud divers. So, cannibalistic humanoid underground divers are essentially people who think that a lot of the balancing decisions have been made in like the completely wrong direction. Content is being made in a weird way. Promises by the devs are being consistently broken. And the only time when something has been fixed in the recent past has been due to Sony stepping in for the developers. Which is that's kind of exactly what's happened. And Arrowhead has given so many excuses for why there has been a problem. But if Sony could come in and fix it in literally a week and a half. That's how long they were in there, in and out, with like a third-party company. Why did they not call on it before? It's because the chud divers had to scream loud enough. Not really. The player count fluctuated so greatly. This is actually a meme on the Reddit. The Reddit, I think, is locked down now because of this. There's a meme on the Reddit about how HellDivers goes from it peaks of like we're so back and down bad. I forget what the phrase is. It's like, we're so back, or it's so Jover. It's never been so Jover. And between June and December 2025, it was just a straight it's so over, and then it got lower. It was like, all right, guys, this is the bottom of the chart. I think this is the worst that the game can get without like literally crashing and burning. And then the game crashed and burned. And then on the opposite side, you have the... Oh, well, by the way, Chud divers are also known as cry divers. On the other side, you have... I don't know what you would even call them, like white pill divers. Like, people who think that there's nothing wrong with the game and that any criticism of the devs is harassment. Which is, like, deranged. It's toxic positivity. And I think, like, there has been no action by the Chud / cry divers that has even come close to the toxic positivity in this community. Because it's literally like, oh, you criticize the game? Perish. Which is just funny. So this is Thick Fillet. This is my go-to guy for HellDivers. He's kind of funny. I will say pretty much everybody in the HellDivers community are kind of Redditors, but that's mostly because it's all they do is play fucking HellDivers too.
How it is the greatest hive of scum and villainy. Now, a lot of people just use this website to, you know, just scroll through their favorite gaming subs, and they, you know, don't interact with some of the smaller, more niche communities here. But for a lot of people, this website is to earn internet brownie points, where you can prove, you know, if you have the most karma on this website, you are obviously a more moral person, and people just leaving opinions that hurt your feelings is literally terrorism. Here's one of those subs. Let's be better, guys.
HellDivers masochist. This community is a mess. Like, every sub is on fire at the moment, but this one seems to be the most laid back sub with decent mods. I want to try suggest becoming the new main sub. So yeah, this is just deranged. This is just deranged on like every fucking count. Because it's just like, holy fuck. Why can you not just... I don't know. Why is this even a debate between having multiple subs and main subs and whatever? That's insane.
Guys, we should all be better. We should all be the moral people. We should all just be better, do better in the world. Well, at the same time, you have a tag in this subreddit, Odo is a terrorist.
That is fucking funny. We'll get to Odo in a minute. That is hilarious. Odo's terrorist cell. Odo owns a terrorist cell who works to destroy the game's balance, bully Arrowhead, and remove any and all difficulty from the game that has 10 difficulty scales.
Odo's terrorist cell who works to destroy the game's balance, bully Arrowhead, and remove any and all difficulty from the game that has 10 difficulty scales. Someone who writes an essay on a video game that I disagree with is literally a terrorist. And another one of these small communities here, would be nice if all the salt divers weren't 90% chuds.
Oh, that's another word for the cry divers, is salt divers. I won't say that any of this has been like to destroy the game's balance. Odo's actually called out a lot of stuff that has fixed the game's balance. So there's these things called factory striders, which are basically AT-ATs from Star Wars. And they have bellies pretty close to the ground that also unleash new troops. So honestly, it would probably be good if I was playing the game. Or, well, actually, I do have footage, just not of this exact thing. And one of the things that Odo called out repeatedly is the ability for you to grab a handheld flamethrower. A handheld flamethrower. And within, I think, 3 seconds of shooting it at the belly of the AT-AT, I'm just going to say that because it's easier, even though it's like legally distinct. you could destroy it. You could take out what is essentially supposed to be a mini boss enemy in seconds with this method. And it took forever for them to actually be able to fix it. And I think that was literally only fixed, like, I don't even know. A couple months ago? I think that was a part of the December patch? Maybe not. But it was pretty recent, and it's been a thing since the game came out. He's argued just for, like, better ragdolling, and there's essentially the argument is fake. He's not trying to destroy the game's balance. He's like pointing out bugs that should make it better.
Game that I disagree with is literally a terrorist. And another one of these small communities here would be nice if all the salt divers weren't 90% chuds. Now, if you don't know what a chud is, I actually just, learned about this word very recently. It's basically just slang for what left-wingers call people on the right, or people who vote right, or right-wingers. So if you are, it just happens to seem like that 90% of the people upset with the balance or the bugs in HellDivers 2 are also just chuds. I guess we're chud diving now. Now, for a little context here and what's been going on is there was a Reddit user who sent out a challenge to Arrowhead Game Studio to basically just post.
Oh, I thought he would have the image. I think Odo has the image, but it's in like horrible quality. So I guess we'll end up having to see
a video or stream themselves playing their own game on the hardest difficulty. He offered $1,000 in charity. He said he would, give them.
And yeah, that's been one of the big things, is because people don't trust that the developers have actually played the game and have actually, like, absorbed the content that they're making, that people were putting in so many requests just in the Discord, or I think occasionally emails, but definitely a lot in YouTube videos, requesting that the devs actually play the video game. And it got to the point where somebody felt that they didn't so much that they made a charity request. They're like, I will literally give you, well, not you, I will give a charity a ton of money if you try to play the game. And then I don't remember if it was the current CEO or the previous CEO who it looks like it is the previous CEO. Yeah, here, Pilestat. Oh, is it not? I knew someone did. I think Odo brings it up, so we'll have to see. But some of the devs actually did play the game and mentioned that, oh, yeah, this definitely needs a better balancing pass.
His full information. He said he would sign a contract to prove that he was going to give the money. But obviously, since this guy is giving this challenge, he seems to have some critique on HellDivers. So he has an opinion we don't like. He must be a chud. He must be trying to harass and bully and weaponize charity against the developers. Now, this guy backed out of the challenge because he received numerous messages, tons and tons of messages, of just horrible shit, basically, telling him to go kill himself, stuff like that. And one of these people actually ended up contacting a charity that he volunteered at in real life.
This is the one thing that I am a little iffy on, because there's just not a huge amount of evidence for this. I don't mean to be a dick about it, but there really just isn't. Is that all we really have to go on at the moment is the guy's word? We don't know that there's been anything about this. It just doesn't seem like he's been sympathy baiting. Sorry, I'm trying to Make sure I get my cat out of here alive and I don't get its ass ate.
And told them he was harassing a game studio and that he was violent, and basically he got they called him and told him he couldn't volunteer there anymore because it is a security risk. Now, I'm not gonna act like at all, and I don't blame all the people on this website for the actions of one clearly deranged person who wanted to mess with this guy's real life, but I do want to talk about something I noticed that transpired under a lot of these threads. Here's one of the threads that are now removed by the moderator. This was the original thread, so this was a follow-up after the challenge. Because, you know, after someone put a challenge out with these obviously horrible loadouts, me and a few other YouTubers, what are we going to do? We see bad loadouts on Reddit with thousands of upvotes. Of course, we're going to go play them. And we ended up doing the challenge. And, you know, one of the viewers ended up uploading it to Reddit, which is now deleted. But one of the funny things I noticed about a lot of comments under here was the charity thing was cringe, since everyone knew he's not going to do it.
I mean, you don't. You have no idea. I don't know, it seemed pretty clear the challenge was referring to both aspects, otherwise why would they show us a video stream of them playing if they could just give us a summary of their experience? The lack of mention of any equipment is more so because it's an open secret and it's an obvious factor going into the challenge. That charity thing was a bit cringe since everyone knows he's not good to do it. Might as well pole dance in a bikini outside AH doorstep for all that matters. It's a hot take. That really shouldn't be a hot take. Devs don't need to play their game. They just need to design the game for those that do. It's their job. Rather use their 40 minutes reading out random support tickets they receive from bugs and glitches and what they actually think about them. Nice. Username. I mean, that's the problem, is that they're not. They're just not looking at the bugs and glitches either. That's like the whole point of this. I don't understand why devs shouldn't play their own games for QA reasons. I mean, from a very corporate perspective, you have a separation between QA and devs. That's actually, like, not common for indie games or indie devs. Which is funny, because, you know, HellDivers and Arrowhead want to call themselves indie devs, and they're just not. He's cooked.
What are you supposed to do when people are threatening to withhold money from charity unless you engage in an asinine challenge that you're expected to fail? Genuinely stop saying for charity. If you gave a shit about charity, you guys would have just fucking donated.
I mean, you can still donate, but it's, I don't know. This whole thing is childish. Does the game need to be balanced? Yes, it does. It's the way for it to happen. No, it's just immature. I mean, it's just trying to give some incentive for Arrowhead to, like, finally listen to the players at least a little bit. I don't see it as, like, a huge deal. It's not as if, like, there's a shortage of people giving money to charity.
This whole thing is so childish. Exactly. If you really give a shit about charity, you would just donate. The people behind this don't care about charity. They either want content to profit off of or put the devs in a humiliation ritual. This is just nerd rage behind a very obvious mask of charity.
And then, like, I feel like this is something that you just say in case the guy doesn't donate to charity. This isn't an argument before it. This is an argument for after if he doesn't donate. It's just like, just donate. They fulfilled your expectations. But you're trying to bargain because you feel that you are being ignored. And so you're trying to give them something positive so they stop ignoring you. If people are going to be like, oh, that's weaponizing charity. And it's like, sure, it is. It's just not that bad.
If these YouTubers would honestly care about charity, they would just donate the money. Don't say you'll donate to charity if they do the challenge. You're just bullying the devs to do it, or else the charity won't receive the donation. How do you not see this as wrong? Weaponizing charity to prove some point about a video game's balance is not what charity is for. Very cringy, especially with the whole for charity bit. What are they going to do if the devs don't do it? Withhold charity money? Okay, I think you get the point here. There is is a lot of posts basically saying that, oh, because the guy made a charity challenge, because he offered to give $1,000 to the charity of Arrowhead's choosing, that obviously he's just weaponizing charity. He's probably just the same as the rest of the HellDivers and the guys that hurt our feelings when they talk about a video game I like that I tied my whole identity to. You know, it's such a chicken shit coward move to attempt blackmailing somebody by saying a charity will lose out on $1,000 if you don't do as I say. And there just so happens to exist a very, very vocal minority of the player base who seems to think that this is weaponizing charity, that you're trying to blackmail them into withholding charity funds. You know,
well, I mean, you're not blackmailing them. It's not blackmailing. Is it like it is using charity to obtain a purpose? Unless there's a different definition of blackmail or of weaponizing charity that I'm not using, then I don't know. The fuck?
No, last time I checked, Arrowhead has probably raked in $700 million or $800 million by now. If they didn't want to do this challenge, they could easily just say, oh, here's $50,000 to save the kids. They've literally already donated to charity before. No normal human being would, you know, if they decided to ignore this challenge, no normal human being would say, oh, Arrowhead ignored the challenge because of charity. And the funniest thing about all of this is that the CEO of Arrowhead caught wind of this challenge. You know, one person who offered another $1,000 for charity, you know, to add on to.
There's been a few people now at this point who have offered to bump up the charity. It's kind of gotten not super high. I think it's gotten to like $3,000 or $4,000, which really isn't that much in the grand scheme of things, but it's not bad either.
To the existing charity challenge, you know, made these different loadouts and said this one's for Shams, this one is for one of the other developers, Alexis, this is for another.
So he's got, what is that, the Wasp, the Rail Cannon, Napalm, and Orbital Strike. And then I don't know what support he's bringing.
Arrowhead developer. Well, the CEO of the company saw this challenge and he said, hey, help me identifying everything in the loadout assigned to me. Grenade, pistol, STA, what else? So there just seems to be a lot of people getting offended on behalf of a company who is literally not offended.
What's the TLDR of this charity thing? So someone offered to give $1,000 to a charity of Arrowhead, the creator of HellDivers 2's choice. So some deranged Redditor decided that this was a great time to dox the fuck out of that person and get them fired and call in like threats. I'm assuming threats to their company. We actually don't have evidence of this, but this is what that person claimed. They're just like leaving the internet now because of it. So, despite all of that, the company has decided to do the charity challenge anyway, and just like shut down the Reddit, essentially. Not shut down, but like they're not gonna listen or look at anything from it for a while. And the charity's actually gotten bigger than 1,000. It's up to like $3,000 or $4,000 from a bunch of other people donating. Yeah.
Never heard of charity challenges? Have you never heard of any sort of thing like this? Can you not imagine that somebody plays this game who's not just one of the other chuds that you don't like, also just happens to have a problem with the way...
And it stems from this, like, really odd... Oh, shit. Why did he die? Did I hit the wrong button? I think I did. It stems from this huge disagreement between the two sides of the HellDivers community. One people who think that, or one side who doesn't think the game needs buffs, or like the players need buffs or whatever. It's just a balancing difference. One side thinks that the player needs more help or whatever, and the other side doesn't. And it's turned into this like super weird war, and they're like one side started to make everything political. When like almost everyone here is like crazy left wing.
Way they've been handling HellDivers over the past year, especially in 2025, and it's quite possible that they just felt like they don't have a big voice and they wanted to get heard, and maybe they didn't even expect their post to blow up the way it did and have the repercussions for them that it did. But no, if you say mean things about the video game that I tie my identity to, then you must be a hard right-wing racist and chud. Oh, and also some of those people are literally terrorists for mean words on the internet. Now,
okay, the terrorist thing is a joke, and that's pretty funny, but yeah.
Hopefully this is a turning point for some of you in the community, that perhaps some people who have negative opinions about a video game you love aren't bad people. We just disagree on a video game. I've been part of other video game communities where it never got to this level, but for some reason in the HellDivers player base, it very much.
So this is Arrowhead GS. Who's Oh, I guess Game Studios. So this is 2 years ago. That's
so often does. Maybe some people look at the words that Arrowhead say and they expect them to follow up on some of the promises they made, like reprioritizing bug fixes, that the more immediate gameplay impacting bugs are prioritized, reworking gameplay to prevent excessive ragdolling. These were some of the promises they made and how they would go forward in developing the game over 2 years ago now, and we literally had the update Into the Untested, notorious name for that update because it was so buggy and broken after they promised to reprioritize bug fixes.
And that was a big update too. One of the things is one of the reasons I think Sony got involved to fix the game is because Sony realized that they are the ones who fucked up the community, because they made Arrowhead focus on the Xbox Microsoft Halo crossover instead of the fucking fixing the game. And so Sony's like, oh, maybe we should come in to help fix the game. Although also the game could not have been fixed as well as it was without Sony.
Just because you like a game and you don't mind some of the issues with it does not mean that there's no criticism to exist with it. And you can't just demonize everybody who criticizes the thing you love. You can't just lump all people in the same groups. And you don't even know the original person who set up the challenge, if they had a problem with balance, if they had a problem with the bugs in the game. You don't know his exact viewpoints on how he feels about the game. So that's it from me, guys. You know, go out there, do better, be better. Obviously.
Yeah, it was just like insane how bad this got. Well, saying how bad it got implies that there was like some kind of process or timeline for it getting bad over time, when it was really seemingly one guy who found out all the fucking information of the guy who was going to donate to charity and was like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. My schizo brain, my schizo mind says that this was a false flag attack, but I don't think that's actually true. In the sense of the guy posted it and then said, I'm getting harassment, and then deleted all his accounts. But I don't think that's true. Like, just to like get Arrowhead to do something, but I don't think it's true. That's too schizo. Oh. I just pulled up this video, but this is basically this is the actual challenge that they want replicated. This is actually the... Yeah, let me close this down and get the right video. We need Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear. I was watching Chud watch this earlier, and it was kind of funny just because... God, daily videos? Which one do I watch? I watched the most recent one.
We've seen a lot hit the fan over the past few days, and today was no different, as we got to see just how much damage part of the community has inflicted while others pushed back, and also we received another reversal coming in with some late breaking news. So yeah, it's been emotional, that's for sure, and to be honest with you, I really struggled to wrap my head around everything that happened. If you want to support the channel,
Thank you, Buzz.
Please hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell as I take you through all the latest with HellDivers. If you've ever needed a strong dose of reality when it comes to online culture, and more so how the real world has shady operators, actions, and consequences, and at the end of the day,
whoa, that's so
heartbreak,
true, Buzz.
well then, today is that day. Coming to us from Mr. Redacted, the HellDivers superfan who presented the first dev charity challenge and was terrorized for his post, we get this message. This is a copy-paste message I'll be sending to everyone that messaged me in good faith, because I think it's rude to not reply, but please understand that I have to do this to reply to the messages because of the sheer amount of them, and don't take that personally, the fact that I can't give a specific response to every single one. I've been banned from the horse sanctuary I've been volunteering at since 2000.
Bro, this guy works at a horse sanctuary? Is this Ian Hansen's, like... Not Ian Hansen? Jesus Christ. Aaron Hansen's fucking friend. Joke's not funny anymore.
11 for security reasons, which is understandable. They're just trying to get by and they can't deal with this. And fired from my job at the electrical company after 7 years. My life got basically ruined overnight for something that I thought would be fun and productive toward a game I loved and supported passionately.
Yeah, this is like totally understandable why this would be so fucked up. Or like, oh my god. Okay. It's just like, how does it even get to this point, you know? What kind of deranged person would do this? It's just so easy to believe too, because Redditors have proven themselves to be so fucking insane over the last, like, I don't know, few years. And it's crazy too, because I think like it's made even worse because Stale is a thing. The Stale 2000, the moderator, is a thing. Whenever he is like insane and deranged, and he sounds like that. He wouldn't. I don't think he would dox anybody, but he did. I think he threatened to, right, in the Charlie video. It's super odd.
I'm not really an internet person, and my online presence is mostly for friends and family. I'll be stepping away from the community, Reddit, and the video game as a whole. I'm completely and undoubtedly done. Thanks for you to support and the kind words to everyone. See you later, guys. My first reaction when I read this about an hour ago was, and might I add, still is, one of total disbelief. How people can operate like this, taking what they feel is justice for a video game, HellDivers 2, and then wielding it like some hammer of truth is beyond me. We knew that Mr. Redacted had...
Yeah, and it's so crazy too that like the guy is just doing something entirely positive and then deciding to be like... And then somebody else deciding for him that, nah, you're just like... I know like the perfect words apparently to just make all of your jobs like fire you and you're gonna go away forever. Goodbye.
Seen the horse sanctuary where he volunteers at docks, but today to now learn he's lost his passion for games, lost his ability to continue to volunteer at the place he loves to volunteer at, but also has lost his job of the last 7 years is fucking insane. This is this man's income. It's his livelihood. It's how he puts bread on.
Look, if he got fired for one like bomb threat, I don't know how good he was with his job. No, that's terrible. No, I hope he's able to get it back, but I don't know how anonymous he was, given he was so easily like found and doxxed and fucking annihilated. But if this did happen, I really hope that he's able to get all his shit back
on the table for him and his family. And in the course of a couple of days...
But it's also like one of those things where it's just like, oh, this is just evil. This just sounds like evil as fuck. That's one of the things that makes me suspicious, is because this just sounds like too evil, but I could believe it too. It's so odd.
Based on a challenge for the developers he thought would be fun, and might I add, was in no way malicious or was devised to create a spectacle. He's lost everything because a person or persons thought it would be fun, or that they were defending the developer's honor and the sanctity of HellDivers 2. I've got more to say on this subject, that's for sure, which I don't know, I may return to a bit later in this video if I can collect my thoughts. But as expected, the community is still pretty worked up over not only Mr. Redacted's treatment and statement, but also the Reddit mod statement we received yesterday, which, by the way, I broke down in this video, mod statement? Link to which can be found in the yesterday.
Okay. Our statement regarding recent events from Omega Zexus. Is that Alexis? One of the normal mods, I guess. Okay. Be civil. No insults, racism, toxicity, trolling, rage bait, harassment, inappropriate language, NSFW content, etc. Remember the human and be civil. What is a meme that took over for a while is like, don't fight your fellow Helldiver. Your war is elsewhere. Because like it just became such a shitty meme about how like I don't know, they just never fucking... Okay. I feel like they're addressing anything for realsies. Rule 1 exists to serve a purpose. To maintain a level of civility within the Reddit is fundamentally our most important rule. Harassment has never been allowed. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it, idiot. Reddit strictly prohibits doxing, which is defined as posting or sharing someone's private, personally identifiable information without their consent. Violating this rule leads to immediate content removal, user bans, or the banning of entire subreddits. Okie dokie. Pretty sure we all know what that is. Community does not support doxing. Yeah, okay. Some context. A user issued a challenge to Arrowhead with the goal of getting them to experience the technical and balancing issues the game suffers in a typical Oshan operation. Or as Chick-fil-A would say, Oshan Hennessy. In exchange, this user who donates to charity monthly was willing to allow Arrowhead to choose which charity he should donate to this month. It quickly became viral in many subreddits. To be clear, Arrowhead never formally acknowledged the challenge, and there is no indication that they intend to do so. Some days later, OP announced that he was retracting his challenge as he has been doxxed and harassed. We don't know who they are. We have no way of knowing who they are. Well, he could report them. The reveal led to users tossing insults at each other and accusing entire groups of people of being or supporting the doxers purely because of their opinions on the game. Due to the constant breaking of Rule 1, the comment section of the original threads were locked. In an effort to bypass the lock, users started to repost the issue, which led to more Rule 1 violations and more spamming, and deleted the posts. The consequences. Other users took these removals as the HellDivers mod team trying to protect the harassers. Really? The misconception led to brigading from another subreddit, with their users purposely posting and mod mailing. What's mod mailing? Rule-breaking content for several days, including insults and threats directed at our moderators, as well as generalized segments of the player base. Gating on Reddit is prohibited site-wide violation involving coordinated efforts by users from one community to disrupt, harass, or manipulate voting content in another subreddit is defined as a form of content and content manipulation, harassment and content manipulation, often leading to ban, subreddit quarantine, or closure. Due to the brigading, our moderation was stricter than usual, but we still made the effort to check who came here from the brigading subreddit. Everyone participated in the brigading has received a permanent ban. So I'm assuming that's, what is it? HellDivers masochism.
Which, by the way, I broke down in this video, link to which can be found in the video description and pinned comments. But the quick explanation is that many in the community feel that with the Arrowhead statement and the new rules put in place by the HellDivers Reddit mods, it has effectively ended the game and declared the doxers and the toxic Reddit radicals as the winners. To give you a better feel for the emotions kind of pent up over the last few days and ultimately the net result, here's a post from Reddit user Costumed Orphan titled, "The World is Broken." Orphan. The guy who got doxxed has had his life ruined. The devs respond with some cookie cutter response response to what's been going on with an effing...
Dude, what the fuck are they supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? They have no evidence for like half of anything in this. Less than, like, for nothing. They don't know who the harassers are. They don't know who's done what. They don't know fuck all about what's happening. What are they supposed to do, man?
LARP at the end, and the mods now are saying challenges to the devs of any kind are not allowed. The takeaways: doxing is a fruitful endeavor. Arrowhead takes these issues about as seriously as the satire in the game. The mods are woefully unprepared and out of touch. I'd really like all the people involved to be better, and people can get better. I don't expect this post to be up for long, but mods who read it, please look at other better moderated communities for examples and have the
Nah, this is so fucking dumb. Why are you putting this here, dude?
Ability to understand that there are things you can learn from others. To Arrow,
this is literally just like, learn better, be better. When it's like, how do you expect any of this? Like, what are they supposed to take away? To Arrowhead, please address this in a more appropriate manner and don't end your response in a faux fascist slogan. Oh, what, like, we gotta save Super Earth, everybody! We gotta save the Super Earth.
Go ahead, please address this in a more appropriate manner and don't end your response in a faux fascist slogan. To the people who doxed this guy, who only wanted the game and communication with the devs to improve, consider your behavior. And I know you won't, since you're the type of people to do this thing to begin with. Consider owning up, not on Reddit, but to the proper authorities who can make a difference. And if not, then to someone who can help you out of whatever poor mental state made you believe this was okay. I thought we all wanted the game and community to be good and to have a positive effect in people's lives. It turns out that it's just most of us, and I want those people to sound off. You see, for a lot of the community, they saw yesterday's Arrowhead post denouncing doxing and they thought that was all that had been posted. But like we touched on yesterday, there was the second, much lengthier HellDivers Reddit mod response with their recap of what had happened. And like I thought and said as much yesterday, the new rule that any further challenges to Arrowhead would no longer be allowed on the server did not go down well with the community, because essentially it just meant that the doxers and the hate posters had won. Now,
oh, well, I mean, that is so weird. So you're not allowed to make new challenges, and yet the current devs are proceeding to do the challenge without even any expectation of the reward. So does that mean that people who literally just ask, like, hey, can you play the game? Okay, like, give it 2 years, right? And be like, hey, can you play the game? The game is terrible right now. Can you play it? Because it's in a terrible state. Does that just, will that just get you an automatic ban?
Caught up in this instant course correction on posting the dev challenges, which also included any discussions about them, was Brainstorm and Theory, who is the person responsible for posting the second $1,000 dev challenge, you know, the one involving the loadout. You see, once Mr. Redacted went through what he went through, there was a ton of myths and disinformation flying around the community, of which Brainstorm and Theory was caught up in the center of. Apparently, he tried to post a follow-up response to basically everything to help clarify what was fact and what was fiction, and because it was related to the dev challenge, his post was also removed. Anyways, here's what he had to say about that post removal, and I honestly don't know how long this current post will be live, but anyways, here's what he said. Why are you not mentioning or clearing up any details about my loadout side of the challenge? A huge part of the ordeal. Why did you delete my follow-up post that provided crucial information about the topic in an attempt to prevent people from being misinformed? I spent 4 hours putting a lot of care into my follow-up post to try and be as thorough as possible with up-to-date info and context on the situation, and you locked it within a few hours and then deleted entirely later on. I cannot make another one of those posts. You have caused irreparable damage to the situation by completely shutting down and actively suppressing any conversation which has directly caused an uncontrolled spread of rumors and misinformation. I have been getting DMs from people apologizing to me for having to experience getting doxxed, except I am not the one who got doxxed.
Sorry, I was just not listening. I was focused on my cat dying. Why are you not mentioning or clearing up any details about my loadout side of the challenge? Is a huge part of the ordeal. Why did you delete my follow-up post that provided crucial information about the topic in order to prevent people from being misinformed? I cannot make another one of those posts. You have caused a powerful shutting down and actively suppressing conversations, which directly caused an uncontrollable spread of rumors and misinformation. I am not the right guy. I know they're trying to throw the distinction between me and the original OP, the YouTubers and everything else, and you deleted everything. This has been an issue in the past. Arrowhead just seems a little bit too delete happy because they just don't want any drama at all with anything they do. And so this has caused anything that would benefit in the slightest from some kind of paper trail to just like be completely fucked up.
Their hearts are in the right place, but I am not the right guy. I and many other people trying to inform others have made the distinction between me and the original OP, the YouTubers, and everything else very clear, and you deleted everything. And he says everything in all caps. Since then,
yeah, okay, thanks, bud.
It has been left to fester, and people are confused about what the hell is going on. Not to mention that you've left the original OP's follow-up video post, the one that literally resulted in him getting doxxed, online for people to continue to see and abuse for some reason. You have made it essentially impossible for anyone to control the situation. You have made it essentially impossible for me to try and get people to understand the different parts of this drama. I exist, yet even in your statement here, you refuse to acknowledge my existence despite knowing I exist because you've already gone out to delete my posts. In all caps, he ends with,
I'm listening. I don't understand what he's even saying. Not to mention, you have made it essentially impossible for me to try and get people to understand the different parts of this drama. I fucked up. I exist, yet even in your statement here, you refuse to acknowledge my existence despite knowing I exist. Because you've already gone out to delete my post. Shame on you. Okay.
Shame on you. And by the way, this was one of my biggest fears with the 180 the Reddit mods took about the dev challenge, because they started going in and deleting everything, which included the important, factual, contextual information in an attempt to just nuke the entire subject. Now, you've got community members thinking one of these challenge guys is the other. Nobody knows exactly what's going on. And like I mentioned earlier, in the end, the hate mongers, the doxers,
hate mongers
and those
of the toxic brood. Let's
won
go.
the day because they got the challenge taken back after ruining a man's life. However, we've got a little ray of sunshine here. A bit of news on this subject as I was recording this one. One of my Discord mods sent me this full timeline of the events, which you'll be able to find over on the HellDivers Unfiltered.
Oh, there's a full timeline? Okay.
Reddit with a very, and I mean very, comprehensive breakdown along with links to everything. And for the OP that created this, first I'd like to say thank you. And second off, I know and can appreciate just how much effort this document required. As I start to wrap this thing up, I'd first like to say again that my thoughts and prayers go out to Mr. Redacted and his family after this tragic
He's not dead. He's not dead. He did just have his livelihood completely destroyed, though, but he's not dead. Okay.
Of events. There's a group of us who are already making plans in the background to help out, but it's going to take a little time to coordinate, and if we can get it all set up, I may be then turning back to you, my viewers, for assistance. I also want this to be my last video covering this subject. It's really starting to wear on me emotionally, and barring some major turn of events, which I'll of course report on, I've said all there is to say about this. And finally, I still think the removal of the dev challenges and discussions from the subreddit was a total boneheaded move by the mods, because in doing so, it only empowers those that took it upon themselves to destroy this man's career. Editing Buzz here, and during the recording of this video, the official Reddit mods have made a follow-up announcement to their post from yesterday, admitting it was a knee-jerk reaction to ban challenges in the Reddit. So,
okay.
We'll be allowing them from here forward, but with a lot of
Why is this here? 1920 by 1080, 25 FPS. Are you like recording this?
Applications include.
It's a screenshot. Like, why did you put this here, bro? What the fuck? I thought that this guy was AI, but I've been following him long enough to know that he probably isn't. Okay, so our previous statement issued a ban on all future challenges. We quickly got a lot of valid criticism about this point, but banning these kind of submissions were given over to some of the worst elements. It was a knee-jerk reaction, and it could have been handled with more care. Challenge-like posts, especially involving money, like the Ocean D10 challenge, will be allowed, but first must be approved by moderation. Challenges must be done in good faith. Okay. Challenges, it's blocked out. Challenges cannot maybe be issued to any random user you have beef with. Keep it civil. If money is involved, we need proof that you can fulfill your end of the bargain, and proof of payment will also be needed. Any money offered in those challenges must go to a charity. It cannot be offered to Arrowhead or other users. We'll try to ensure the wording of a challenge cannot be misunderstood. Challenging Arrowhead to something does not guarantee they'll participate. Challenging individuals will require their consent. Adding your own twist onto another person's approved challenge is not allowed. If a challenge has been already improved, any modifications to it to consider a new challenge and subject to
showing you have the funds to make good if the challenge is beaten, proof of payment, money goes to charity, and the wording has to be pre-approved ahead of time. You also have to have the consent of the person you were challenging, and there's no guarantee that Arrowhead will accept your challenge. There's also still a loophole here for the mods, as the approval starts and ends with them. So if they don't approve, your challenge will never see the light of day. But again, this whole thing and how the mod team inside the official HellDivers Reddit actually handled it leaves a lot to be desired, with, of course, that knee-jerk reaction and ban hammers being deployed as the panic set in. All around, it's not a good look that has festered into an open, gaping wound for the HellDivers community. If you feel like supporting the channel, please consider hitting subscribe and ringing the notification.
Also, does he do this every single time? Because I notice he has 413 and this is 412. Yeah, the HellDivers thing has been absolutely insane. It's crazy, but I really think, like, if you go back for the last few months and are watching Odo and Commissar Kai and Thick Fillet and Erevan, the HellDivers, like, community has just not been there. And Lieutenant Buzz Lightyear, by the way. I think the community integration aspect has, like, just not been there. It has not been right. They've fucked up so many times. And that this is kind of the peak of, like, letting a very toxic side of the community fester whenever you want to integrate that into the brand, and you're just not taking care of it. I just think it's, like, a massive failure on Arrowhead's part. Okay. We can see what Odo has to say. The reason Odo is interesting is because he's got a kind of fucked up point of view. And you can make some criticisms of him in this video.
For democracy to sending death threats and doxing someone over the cardinal sin of them simply wanting the devs to play the video game and willing to pay money to a charity of their choice if they just prove it. That's it. This is what happens, in my opinion, when you have developers that essentially make themselves
out
to be folks that can do no wrong. They lie to the community over the course of years, gaslight them, making monkey pop balancing, hiding so many changes.
So if I'm tabbed into Mugenics, his video is slowing down. I feel like that wasn't happening for Buzz Lightyear.
so the community as a whole only knows about them if they dig deep. The constant deceit I've talked about in previous videos has led folks to believe that Arrowhead doesn't make mistakes, they don't mess up, and folks just can't be happy with the changes that are being made. After all, 6 million COD players bought the game, right? A game for everyone's a game for no one. So
those are jabs. I wouldn't do this because this is blown completely out of the HellDivers 2 community. I guess he wouldn't have known at the time because it was 4 days ago, about a day or two after this was happening. But these are jabs inside the community that no one else knows about. And he doesn't explain it either.
Then it results in people feeling the need to defend Arrowhead from things that aren't even remotely threatening, such as basic feedback, or in this case, a charity challenge. I will donate 1,000 USD to a charity of Arrowhead's choosing if they upload a video of 4 of the developers playing on an entire operation on Ocean 1 on difficulty 10 and completing all objectives on all 3 missions on the current major order. No modifications, no funny business. Play on the current state of the game, show us how it's done and how well the game's balance is. I'll provide my full real information, proof of payment, and I'm willing to sign a legally binding contract. I really hope you didn't do that first part online, because you don't know this, but the community, well, you didn't know this, the community has folks in it that are mentally inept. They are not well in the mind, and they feel the need to defend Arrowhead over nothing.
I mean, yeah, that's totally true. But this has been like one of the things that's been fermenting for ages now.
In this case, genuinely nothing. They'll defend the devs from doing something that's actually pretty good and positive. Play for charity? What? You can't do that. That's no, don't do it. Don't go to the lot. That's the community. Part of it. Just so we're clear, if I say the community, I don't mean everyone. That'd be silly. So what happened as a result of issuing a challenge for charity that was pretty basic stuff? Hey devs, play game, I give you money. They got death threats and doxxed. I think there's another one too. Get better at the game, you stupid. Oh, well, listen.
You stupid R-turd. You're regarded.
You're gonna get that regardless. You could say the most basic thing ever. You could say that the railgun's better than Quasar against Hulk Surge. No, it's not. The Quasar is so good against Hulk Surge. You're just bad at the game. Like, you're gonna have people that are like that. Dog. People are dumb. The first part is ridiculous. So, like, there's no defending this. It's a video game. When you say stuff like this, when you speak death threats to someone over a video game, especially in this sense, you deserve not the best things in life. Not sure exactly what, but just not the best things in life. That's just me. I've received dozens upon dozens of messages like this one since I first issued the challenge. For my own well-being, I'll be stepping off Reddit and the community as a whole. Stop trying to contact me. The challenge is officially over on my part. Thanks for everyone that supported with kind words, but I really can't take the barrage of hate. See you guys later. Follow-up to comment. I just learned that somehow they got a hold of the horse sanctuary I volunteer at and are sending messages there too.
Oh yeah, so this is one of the things. His text is all the way at the bottom, and it's getting covered up by the YouTube UI. Just, dude, just put it up in front and center.
Yeah, this is it.
I think he was just trying to get it out super quickly.
What is going on, fellas? Because this is not it. You cannot sit there and be so against people wanting the game to improve, wanting it to get better, that you are willing to dox people, willing to send death threats to folks over that very want. Some added context. The initial fella donates to charity monthly, and his whole goal this month was putting it towards a charity.
How do we know that? Where has he said that?
Charity of Arrowhead's choice if they do the challenge. If they don't, it was still going to charity. And so we had to get doxxed for that, obviously. The folks at Eat Crayons went from that to simply using a hot spoon to smoke them. A different person offered $1,000 to charity if the devs played these horrible loadouts on Ocean 1. And for some reason that activated the Swede syndrome, and it made folks go, well, the first offer was kind of reasonable, I guess, but the second one was a problematic. It was an issue because the loadouts are insane.
Wait, these are insane? Okay. So we have the lever action with, what is that, the smoke grenade? Okay. The arc as a support weapon? The laser sentry? Okay, like I think the point of this is to show off how bad these weapons are. Urchin is fine. That's the guy, that's the middle item, the thing that looks like a mace with the red guy. The Halo armor just does not make things more quiet. We're just not even sure what it's for. The assault rifle that he's using there is just really bad. On the right, with Alexis, he's got the opposite where things are overpowered. Except for the knife, because the knife, for some reason they made it so that the knife has to land on the blade. If it lands on the hilt, it just does no damage. Did I say about the assault rifle? The assault rifle is bad. It basically doesn't do any damage. And then he's got the smoke stratagem call-in flame turret. I've used that. It's been pretty bad. Is that the minigun? I haven't played with that. Cluster bomb, which is great. I don't know why you would bring it. Why you would put it on like a challenge. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this doesn't seem that bad. Besides Nicholas, Nicholas has an awful loadout. He has like probably like the worst. This is like just gonna torture him. And B vitamin, but Shams and Alexis don't have terrible loadouts. They're not amazing. Arrowhead is has always sucked with communication, dealing with community issues. I totally think they went out of their way to nerf everything into the dirt when they first launched the game, and it almost ruined the game. Absolutely, that is exactly what happened. From everything that I gathered, what happened was someone outside of the... Not even outside. I'm trying to find the right word. Oh no. Oh god. Oh, he was poisoned anyway. That's fine. I think it was a contractor or someone who they had recently hired on was put in charge of balancing, and they, I guess, were told that the game was supposed to be way harder than it actually was. I think even then though, past demos, because a lot of the demos I think were even internal, so it was super weird. Whenever the game came out, and I think like past difficulty 3 or 4, which is the easy mode, the basic weapons were like god awful. I remember the Liberator was set to what, like 40 damage at the start, which is like half a magazine into like a basic bug enemy. And then that was like, because you don't have to grind for very long, but when the game first came out, that's the grind to get all the shit, and after that you never have to worry about it. But it was crazy. Release was like horrendous. I'm surprised that HellDivers 2 is actually like one of the most successful Sony products ever, because holy fuck did Release like have a bad time.
They're weapons in the video game, bro. Most of which aren't that great. How is that problematic? How can you even for a second remotely justify what happened as a result because of the loadouts being not that good? This is what happens though. The community, not all of course, but people will sit there and justify nonsense because there's the existence of something that's slightly better. And the best part is the initial person making the charity offer sparked the second one, and this resulted in the CEO Shams playing his loadout and recognizing instantly there's something about the spear feels off. He played a weapon and could notice that it just doesn't feel as good as it could. Now he said the cooldown, which isn't a problem, but that's the goal though, is that the folks that make the game, that work on it to some capacity, play it, and they start to feel what we as players feel. But wanting that results, wanting that outcome, does what? It gets folks to get threats. In the spirit of the first challenge, I'll put up $1,000 to the devs' charity of choice if they play a Raise the Flag mission against the bots, a E711 extraction mission against Oshuan, or any Hive World for the bugs. And for a little more,
I remember him giving out these challenges. These are like insane challenges to give for the amount of money he's offering.
But it has to be evacuate the citizens. Max difficulty. It has to be max difficulty for all of those. And then's the rules. Loadouts, do what you want. Well, people will know if you try and cheese it a little too hard, if you're looking up meta guides and whatnot. Now, rest of the video is about not this situation, because I don't want to show this information. I don't want to like show him talking too much about it because he got doxxed. I feel like showing him. And
this is even still good. He's using the arc gun. Hi, cat. Cat time. No, HellDivers 2 has had such like a chaotic, like what? It's been like 3 years. Is this the 3-year anniversary? Dude, that's crazy to celebrate the 3-year anniversary with fucking, this huge drama with the community. And it's had, I think, almost that many, like 3 or 4, like, big, excuse me, dramas now. You had Release, you had Into the Untested, you had the break, you had the 60-day patch, which they largely fucked up. And now you have this. I would even argue that the December patch, as good as it is still a drama in and of itself, because Arrowhead didn't make it good. It was fucking Sony. Nope, you are not getting on the left. Also, why are you so heavy? Have I been feeding you too much? Okay.
And showing more of his stuff online is going against the very reason that he pulled out of the challenge. I am uniquely familiar with getting death threats for wanting HellDivers 2 to be a better game. I had someone in the official Discord say, I wish Doe had stayed dead like his channel, which is strange timing considering I almost did die right before that comment was made. 11 days in the hospital with a necrotic appendix rupture. The doctor was worried I wouldn't make it. He said that after the fact, which is sketchy stuff. And my channel wasn't dying or dead. So, not sure what could have possessed him to say that. Surely it was just a coincidence, because folks are making that kind of comment constantly, right? It's a run-of-the-mill household phrase. They got banned and unbanned in a few hours. I was banned longer for showing...
Dude, March of the Redditors. What the fuck is this image? Who made this? This is great. Already mad for getting fat and me being the proprietor of that.
Showing a screenshot of a game comment and saying, this makes no sense, because they called it doxing. Part of the reason why I got banned in the first place is the moderators mentioned how they have a server that allows 13-year-olds and up, which is kind of young, all things considered. And maybe they should change that, I don't know, in a public messaging server, if they're afraid that children will have their information readily available for folks to access from taking a simple screenshot of their freaking message in said public forum. You should probably raise the limit. That's just, you know, the first thought that someone has.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Also, given the way they moderate stuff to the point of banning words such as glaze diver, which is not a slur, it just means freaking teacher's pet, brown noser, white knight. That's basic. It's a basic phrase. It's just that, but in reference.
Yeah, glaze diver has been the opposite of salt diver and chud diver and everything.
To HellDivers too.
It is funny. It is very much like, look at what they need to mimic our power. Is it just like, oh, what the fuck? He can't. He doesn't have a mouth. But he's extremely intelligent. Well, sorry, bud.
That's banned. And they only recently banned Cry Diver and Wine Diver, which are kind of the opposite of it. They're used against it in a sense. You don't have to do that. They're just words. Folks will use other words and they'll just be more passive aggressive and they'll skirt the rules because you're trying to make it to where folks can only use certain things now. It just gets weird for no reason. Also, I don't know if children should be exposed to freaking furries and whatever else you got going on that Discord. That's just me. Hey.
I mean, largely as long as it's all fine, it's okay. But I do believe there was a controversy with a kid getting contacted off of off the server, but finding a play partner through the server.
You do you. Obviously, I'm guessing that most parents are very ecstatic about that nonsense happening there. Surely. Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of the way the Discord has been ran in terms of moderation. If you'd like to see for yourself why, just type my name into the search bar of the official Discord and you'll get about probably easily 4,000 reasons. Aww. But what can you really do? You have folks that are really passionate for the game and they'll probably okay certain viewpoints and they'll disregard others based on their own preferences. That's how it goes. Oh well. And there's also the fact in which there's now different Reddits and whatnot that are posting far more unhinged stuff than this one. You got fellas that are burning photos of yours truly, and they're picking
That's fucking awesome.
The worst one possible. The next time you have your cult meeting sipping your rat poison Kool-Aid, find a better screenshot or don't burn a picture at all.
That's fucking hilarious. I watched the fucking people do this on Chud's fucking Discord today. That's great.
Like, realistically, you shouldn't burn photos. That if people find out who you are doing that, that could be sent to your future employers.
Oh, come on.
That's not good news.
Dude, that's just funny. There's nothing, like, really malicious about burning a photo like that.
And then you got people...
If you do that to, like, a political person who's, like, high up at the current time, I can get, like, that would be, like, considered weird. But, like, I think everybody's just really heated, but that's just not... What the fuck?
And they're saying that Odo and Thick Fillet and folks that say the word glaze diver should legally be shot, which is a death threat clear as day. There's in that instance, there's no defense of.
Don't know if this is a topic that's considered spam or not, but I found the sub and it immediately makes me think of those two. This is HellDivers Masochists. HellDivers media content is the worst I've seen. Half of it is basic explanations for gear, and the other half is complaining about the game being too much, and why Airhead is worse than Hitler. There is only a very few specific creators that do interesting stuff regarding the testing the literal game and physics mechanics to the limit. One of the few games I'm happier about playing blind with absolutely no info from others that influence me. Really? How do you hate Odo and Thick Fillet, but not Commissar Kai? Look, I'll be real. Everyone largely has like the same rotation of content with like slightly different variations and opinions. People like Commissar Kai because he likes the bad stuff, and people are like, hey, that's not meta. I do like how there's a skip point here from like random Reddit complaining about Odo to like the actual drama
of I'm into the video game, which by the way, you can't say that. You can't say something that's a 100% threat and then go in Minecraft. That sounds cute, doesn't actually work. It does not help your case. You have Odo as a terrorist as your flair on Reddit, which is a thing that folks can wear around like a badge.
That's awesome.
That's weird. Kind of like the folks in the comment section are just glossing over the
inbreeding,
whatever they just read right there. Like, yeah, content creators in the space of HellDivers 2 are just the worst. Can we address what happened? The elephant in the room, maybe? I don't know. The death threat? And calling a content creator who's talking about a video game a terrorist? Like, whoa. Whoa, that dude's...
Maplewood is pretty good. Dr. Pooplove is another one of the go. I hate this. Really? Basic explanations of gear that are usually terrible and don't explain any of the intricacies. Meta chasers of the early days unfortunately had terrible people giving them info, which led to where we are today. The problem with a lot of the meta people, especially the ones who are in the content creator program, is that they get access to a lot of the equipment early, which then proceeds to get nerfed like the day before the content comes out. So they'll put out a video that unintentionally lies about the content, which has led to people who don't have access, like Erevan. He's the only one I know of, to have actually some of the best videos regarding weapons, because he plays stuff post nerf, so his information is actually relevant to understanding what's happening. Whereas a lot of other people are just kind of running off of opinions and vibes of what a weapon will be like after an update. I think Thick Fillet also generally holds off until an update has happened to make a video about something. So he's generally okay.
passionate about a video game, wants it to be fun for folks to play.
Also, I don't understand. Is this literally just... Do they just hate Odo here, or do they also hate Thick Fillet? Dude, why do they hate Thick Fillet? Thick Fillet is one of the people who is testing physics. He's one of the guys. Okay, whatever. Dude.
Whoa, that dude's passionate about a video game, wants it to be fun for folks to play. That's ridiculous. So, yo, call the freaking Spec Ops. Saddam Odo Hussein is in the building. Circling back to the small role the devs and the moderators play and how players act, which, by the way, they're not responsible for all the actions that folks have that play their game. That would be insane. But the devs acting so scandalously, lying to players blatantly, it's not up for debate. It is what it is. It's unfortunate. Them acting the way that they have over the past 2 years has led to some players just being drama fiends, to the point in which they're not looking forward to new content so they can play the game. They're looking forward to new content so they can argue about it. They can make up lies about it. And the lying part has been happening. Sometimes it's small stuff. Oh, the HMG has this going on, so you miss your shots. The reticle was misaligned, dog. But folks just
I thought we skipped to the scandalous acts part.
The main thing they say, that they'll realistically this and that.
Okay, I think it's just an entertaining title. I think what he's actually talking about here, I'll mute him for while I'm talking over him, is the devs like lying about shit or just like putting in something that's not how they promised it would be or whatever. And so it comes across as like scandalous to people who are like super invested, but if you're outside of the community, you don't give a fuck.
Back to normal levels. That's the part.
So it's like this half of this video of Odos is just like really bad because it's talking about like culture and shit of the HellDivers 2 community and like past issues. It's not talking about how, you know, the name of the video title, doxing and death threats over a charity challenge.
And it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. I'm just not sure. So since they're not mentally well or fit to be on social media to begin with, that individual needs to be avoided at all costs. And if you're friends with them, maybe distance yourself. If you can't do that, don't buy them a small animal, because once it goes missing, you'll know what happened. Or the developers, all they gotta do, well, a big thing is just be more transparent in the patch notes and stop making changes that they know players won't like, that they feel the need to hide.
Dude, fuck off.
It's that freaking simple. If you stop making horrible changes, you know.
I actually will say that is kind of a bad take from Odo. I normally agree with him.
The game
this is pretty bad.
A better experience, and you won't have this hotter stuff. It doesn't really guard shooter fantasy stuff. It just leads to a.
You are coming across as a total fucking nerd who cares way too much about the game. I'll be real.
Every single time. And I think that
this is coming across like you care about the game over the death threat situation.
Know that deep down, or maybe they're recognizing the pattern, hopefully. But when you go against it too heavily, when you ignore what makes the game fun to play, you can't be shocked that people aren't having a good time, and it leads to more arguments. So that's a little tidbit right there. And for moderation and whatnot, you just got to be less one-sided. Maybe it's gotten a bit better, but I don't know, dude.
Less one-sided.
Maybe it has gotten better, actually. A little bit. There are a bunch of folks that spread a hell of misinformation about me in the official Discord, and I'm talking it's endless. And everything.
Okay, so now that we're making this about you.
Look at super credits. It's all been greenlit by the folks that work with Arrowhead and whatnot. Cool. I launch HellDivers 2, and my PC hard locks like that. People have to lie about my PC specs, saying I own things I didn't own. They have to lie about you have to remove it from the thing in the first place. It's like a little compartment that closes. That's the mentally inept people that have to lie to make you look worse. And you're like, I'll give them $20.
Get good. Only takes 2 shots to the hip joint with a railgun. I'll just mad your precious coyote couldn't kill everything in the game. Once again, get good. It'll be $20 if you can solo a War Strider Seed full clear with railgun at max difficulty, 1 century of choice. You can't supply pack. But I need to make all these deliberate rules of what to bring and what not to bring just to prove a point. No wonder you got banned. You said railgun specifically, so the focus should be the railgun. It's easy to bring a weapon on a mission and never actually use it. Railgun is easy on War Strider. Proceeds to spam thermites.
They didn't do it. Got money from these individuals. What are you talking about? Get that reading level up, brother. A Dr. Seuss book ain't that expensive. But this is what happens, and this is all in the Discord. And even on Reddit, folks are like trying to say that I owe them money. No. What? Thank you for watching.
Yeah, this was like a terrible video. This is like one of the worst videos covering a situation. This is a terrible monitoring of the situation. Worst I've ever seen. Okay. Now that we've seen that, I had Commissar Kai posted, but I think the segment's just about run its course. Probably ran it before we watched Odo, but Odo, this is a bad video. So I wanted to cover it. Commissar Kai is like one of the bigger creators. All these people kind of hover between 150 and 250k. But Commissar Kai is pretty popular. And basically, Commissar Kai is just like, I will also donate $1,000. I disavow. But don't. Your true fight is the automatons, HellDivers. It's just funny. So he said originally he'll put in $500, then he'll put in $1,000. I do believe that the devs are doing it on the Discord. Okay. Segment over. Next segment, everyone. Now, we've got Quam, or Cruel World Happy Mind. You might be wondering, where is Quam? One of the things I thought was funny, if you look for Quam, it's basically whoever's currently live streaming will show up. And then you have H3. This has been pretty consistent. And then you have Quam. I don't even know if you would recognize her because you have the first result and you're like, oh, that's probably it. And then H3, and then you have an actual like couple images of Quam. So I feel like you would skip past this. Also because, look, Quam is just so much easier to say. I don't want to say 4 fucking syllables. She's made a video on Caleb Hammer. I daily watch Caleb Hammer. I am so excited to see his call with Scott Schaefer on the Nick DiOrio show. That is never going to happen. Or Scott Shafter. So let's watch the video and see how Caleb Hammer gets taken down a peg.
And weird. We love a gooner degenerate. What the fuck are we talking about?
I was homeless for a few years.
Okay, well that's stupid. Get a job. Every single person.
Okay, one sec. This feels like it's breaking. Like I feel like I'm tabbed into my game and it's like slowing down. I might just turn off the game to watch this, but I don't want to get like copyright struck.
Crazy bitch. Buddy.
Let me close out of everything else.
I'm going to sue you.
A legal immigrant couple with $130,000 of debt. Caleb Hammer writes in the caption of a TikTok. Caleb Hammer makes posts like anime girl can't find a job.
Also, I'm Japanese and American.
That explains the anime.
Oh, bro. This is terrible. I have like a chud image, right? I'm just gonna put this on the screen, so hopefully that helps. Oh, I have the chud typing. Okay, that's fine.
Yes. Okay.
Or she wouldn't date me.
Smash or pass?
Are we doing based on now or potential?
He talked to Amaranth?
Right now?
Yeah.
Pass.
Caleb Hammer has
So there is a difference.
Been coined the modern Dave Ramsey.
He has a chance.
The best, the most
Dave Ramsey is the modern day Dave Ramsey.
powerful wealth building tool is your income.
Bringing guests onto his show Financial Audit, sifting through their finances and telling them where they're going wrong.
We don't our entire life up with endless amounts of debt. That's you being an idiot. That has nothing to do with your child.
But with a few twists.
One of the things is she not
That's you being an idiot. That has nothing to do with your child.
But with
has Quam just not turned into like a complete mannequin? She's looking like completely artificial now. Just complete gloss everywhere. Just sheen and shine on every part of her body. It's so weird. Like, you can see like she's got like in the center of her retinas, you can see the fucking like backlight. Shine. Wait, can you even see the cursor? You can. Shine, 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 shine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Even the hair is like reflecting light now. It's crazy. This look is insane.
With a few twists. His titles are often shocking, offensive, and some may say downright hateful. He often shames his guests for their life choices.
You're domineering. And yeah, you probably pretend like you're a victim still in the end. You look like you've done.
No, I don't. I literally I'm not picking scabs.
Close your mouth. You look like you could be toothless. We know people like you. You are the worst among our civilization.
Sure you do.
Bringing in his own opinion on their dating life.
She
does look like a meth head. What?
Is a broken individual. I don't know how you're gonna deal with
this.
Looks
like she could be one.
Apparently exposing their legal status, which brings about a big question. Do we need a modern Dave Ramsey, but with YouTube drama slop, shame, bigotry, and hate?
What do you think?
You had to throw the bit in there? Yeah, I'm sure you did. Do you feel good about that?
Let's talk about it.
And you'll never be remembered for anything. You have no legacy. You're pathetic. You're a slop commentator. You are nothing. Set the.
Yeah, this was to fucking what? I always forget his name. Pegasus?
Now, no contributor of anything in this entire world. Shut the f up. You were gone for a year and no one cared and no one's life changed. Shut up.
Shit's annoying me. Hi. Skipping through the intro. D'Angelo Wallace. Scott Shafter. I don't know who you are. Why are you bald?
Legal strategy, you have no idea, right?
Poor people, right? Make fun of their problems.
You shouldn't have.
Fair, criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching. I'm comment. I'm comment. Mom and I are both comment.
An audience, and that's what you want.
Maddie Harnish.
Hi, friends and internet acquaintances. Welcome or welcome back to a deep.
I like the gnome painting. I like the gnome moon painting. What a collection of bits and bobs. I don't even know what that is in the. Is that from Aw Scary Monsters or Aw Real Monsters, the Nickelodeon show? No idea what that is. BMO stuff. Squid. Skull.
Deep dive on internet lives.
Is that an Ethan Klein reference?
Covering controversial internet figures. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like. And if you want more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. And now let's get into the video. She came here to fight me. Financial audit. I honestly think he just hires actors and they have a loose script.
Oh, Doomer. Okay. The having a popular show for 3 years classic shift to hating on it for clicks online. The Fallen Fan. Let's go. I don't know, dude. They have hired actors. I think Caleb literally just goes on here to say shit. I think this is just like pandering, kind of, in a really weird way. Like, he knows they're actors. We know that some of them are actors. We've known that his crew will fuck with him sometimes to bring on an actor in the past. And we know that they started with getting people off of acting websites. So it's like, who are you even like talking to with like the Fallen Fan shit? You're like creating an enemy out of this guy to pander to like get fans out of people looking. I don't know. It's weird.
The show is the same now. Caleb
Also, I kind of agree. I really feel like every show is like, how much do you make? How much do you think you spent? And if it's like a woman who's like at least a 5 out of 10, he's like, what's your sex life like? And how does it bring in money for you? And it's so fucked up. I think the most recent one, I was so annoyed at the most recent Caleb Hammer video because I felt it had nothing to do about the money. It was all about sex and personal relationships, and I'm just like, I'm not fucking here for this, man. Like, I'm fine with the jokes, but it has turned into every episode. It's like, she makes 52 cents off OnlyFans. Like, bro, I'm starting to get tired of the routine.
Bonds, yes, it's starting. The having a popular show for 3 years, classic shift to hating on it for clicks online. The fallen fan. Let's go. No,
I think as annoying as the last guy was, I forget his name, Noah Chrysler, putting Lindsay on has corporatized the show so much that I do think to a degree it's ruining it. But Caleb Hammer just wants it to run its course. He'll make his money and he'll be gone in 5 to 10 years. I think this is kind of like the beginning of the end. Like, Noah Chrysler is like an absolute nut job. And I think he fucked up a lot. I think he did good with putting on the fake names for people. I think he did good by having follow-ups and instituting like, hey, we're like actually trying to help people. Whereas I do think Lindsay is much more on the, it's a show. We're not really here to help people. That's up to them. Okay? We'll give them the resources. We'll give them the advice. But they're here for our show. Okay? They get a little vacation in Austin or New York or wherever they are. But fixing their lives, that's up for them.
Caleb Hammer was born and raised in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and briefly studied music composition.
I can't believe Kalamazoo is a real place.
At Western Michigan University.
Why did you drop out of school?
I was making more money selling my music compositions than my professors were. Like an extra $20,000 a year. So I was like, I don't actually need a degree. It's based on whether or not I can form consortiums and sell my music.
Caleb Hammer told Insider he struggled with debt when he was at college, racking up credit card debt, car debt, and a $15,000 private student loan with
wasn't he like massively into coke at the time?
Massive interest.
I was so dumb in college, man. Just starting to go into it. I was going into a major that wasn't going to make any money. I wanted to go into music. And of course, if you're going to go into music, you have to have like a $50,000 computer or whatever. It's some nice, beautiful iMac. So max out a credit card with that. Got to have an electric piano. You got to be cool, you know. You got to be like the other music.
Well, if you're doing music, you do need an electric piano. But a Yamaha is only like $500.
Majors. Max out a credit card with that. I got like a $11,000 car loan, but I couldn't afford the down payment. Of course, I didn't know anything about money, so I borrowed like $5,000 from the grandparents just to get a down payment on a car. It's the same stuff we're seeing on the show.
Caleb claimed that advice from other finance personalities helped him get out of that hole. He read finance-type self-help books like Rich Dad.
Oh god, did that come through the mic? That S. Oh fuck, what's the word for it? It's like the opposite of applosive. That hurt my fucking ears, dude.
Poor Dad and Millionaire Next Door. The books that don't just help you get out of debt and save money responsibly, but teach you how to become the next millionaire. And he binged videos by Dave Ramsey and Graham Stephan.
I've always been interested in real estate. I don't know if it was growing up as an HGTV kid. Delivering Jimmy John's all throughout college, I actually delivered to a lot of the rental property management companies, and I just became really interested in that bigger pocket type material.
Jesus.
Bigger pockets. Yeah. I got really into that, reading the books, audiobooks, whatever.
Personally speaking, I have a lot to say about the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad in particular when it comes to the realm of finance self-help. And I think it's important to talk about because Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a self-help book that a lot of
dude, I have to turn her down. Those S's are
people have been tricked into thinking is genuinely helpful. If you were here for the very first YouTube video I ever made, I talked about how the MLM company Amway introduces people into their MLM
This is another thing that I've noticed. She has like the woman equivalent of like a Norwood 1. Or what's like the least Norwood? She has a hairline that's pretty pushed back. I've noticed that a lot of them tend to go for like people, like women with like weird hairlines tend to have like a lot like faker, like more mannequin-esque makeup personalities.
Talked about how the MLM company Amway introduces people into their MLM company by having people read Rich Dad Poor Dad, or at least that's how people tried to rope me into the Amway MLM company. Why? Is it because Rich Dad Poor Dad is such a...
Dude, look how different she looks compared to herself, like... God damn, dude. Here? Is it just like the lighting? I think a lot of it is the lighting. It might also just be age. So weird.
Helpful financial book. A lot of the Rich Dad Poor Dad advice boils down to, well, first off, having major daddy issues and abandoning what you're currently doing to take big risks and invest your life into real estate in the pursuit of entrepreneurship. The book was published in 1997 and really took off in the early 2000s. You know, up until 2008, the idea of investing in real estate. So you do the math on whether or not that was really sound financial advice.
I mean, it was until 2008, and now it currently is until probably 2028.
And notorious straight-laced businessman Donald Trump did a collaboration with the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, in 2006 called Why We Want You to Be Rich, 2 Men, 1 Message, as well as a second book called Midas Touch, Why Some Entrepreneurs Get Rich and Why Most Don't, in 2011. According to people who've reported on the fraudulent activities of Robert's real bread and butter are his seminars. There's the free seminar where you're encouraged to sign up for the $500 weekend,
oh my God,
where they teach you to wait for it, get a credit card to buy more courses, go into debt to get a financial education. Then there's the $30,000 to $45,000.
Oh, this is just some media. Dude, are you serious? You're crediting Medium? For people who don't know, Medium is a blog website. That means that she did not credit the creator. That's like referencing a YouTube video and then putting YouTube as your credit. Holy shit, dude.
$5,000 elite programs. When Caleb Hammer says he was inspired by people like Robert and the Rich Dad Poor Dad book.
Oh my God.
In my opinion, this is what he means. He was inspired by this financial structure, these sorts of financial influencers, and the many, many similar structures out there like this one that claim to sell you financial advice for a price. At first, they'll sell you the most basic information under the guise of entertainment. You're sucked in by the entertainment value, and this financial influencer seems authoritative in their knowledge, which only further draws you in, especially if you're in a vulnerable state. But ultimately, what they're giving you is just vague information. A lot of...
I mean, yeah, if you're just like, oh, I need to get rich quick, I'll buy this book. I'll put in all the money I can. Yeah, sure.
Fool's gold.
Why don't you look into where it's...
Yeah, I think this is the reason why Caleb doesn't really give any kind of advanced, like, financial information. One, he's not licensed to. But also because he doesn't really have that much financial knowledge. He knows like 4 things. Make a budget. Buy a decent car that doesn't break down. Buy property and rent it out. And... oh, excuse me. We'll buy property and rent it out.
Going.
I honestly don't ever look at my accounts. I just swipe the card and then I keep cash if it gets declined.
The thing is, I think people give Caleb Hammer a lot more credit and advice for being smart with finances, but I think it's just because your brain kind of tricks you because he's just like pounding on essentially like level 1s all day. He's a level 20 pounding on level 1s, but he's not even really close to like a level 100.
I think ultimately that's because
yeah, I'm fucking using video game level references. Sue me, dude.
Is no one has the secret or the answer that's going to solve your financial problems. Aside from just basic financial literacy, systemic issues that put some people at a disadvantage, and other problems you may have that the financial institutions profit off of you having. But once these influencers and influential people suck you in, they funnel you down a pipeline of extra memberships and courses. My ultimate question is any of this helping really? Do these guys have the answer? Caleb does something similar, but makes his financial advice into a lifestyle brand where you can buy memberships, courses, apps, cooking books. He might not drive around a
you can't buy the cookbooks. Cookbooks are free.
Ferrari, show off a mansion, but he does claim in his content that he's extremely wealthy.
Dude, I don't even care right now. I know right now I could back out of all my stocks, my personal residence, and get everything into the cash flowing type properties that I have up in Michigan, and I could generate $10,000-ish a month. I could do that and do this show for free.
Lately, in some...
So I definitely doubt that. Maybe in like certain time periods, but you're relying on a lot of good financial happenings or like trends all at once to be able to just purely live off of real estate, unless you have enough, which maybe he does. But $10,000 isn't going to cover like multiple homes needing a major repair all at once. But I don't know. It could work depending on how many he's talking about. If he's making 10,000 from like 4 homes, that's pretty good. Making 10,000 from 10 homes, maybe less. Less good. No, but he does make a shitload of money. I don't know why that's even a question about how wealthy he is. Because actually, you know what? Let's get his views. Let's get his channel and his views up. Hammer. Okay, so he has like a huge membership program. If I join, do I get to see how many?
YouTube membership just got upgraded. And for this month only, you can join for free.
So everybody to see how many members he has? I guess not. Okay. So not even including his memberships. Let's see. In 1 week, we'll take his last 3 videos. 600, 800, 900. So 6 plus 8, 14. 14 plus 9. 2.3. Multiply that by... What is the CPM for economics? Is it $12 or $14? CPM for finance YouTube. CPM is $15 to $50 in 2026. Holy fuck. Let's just split the difference and say 1725. So 1725 times 2.3 thousand. 17.25 times 2340. So he's making $40,000 a week. And I'm not including people who have ad block or premium or memberships or anything else. 4 weeks in a month. Making almost $500,000 in a month. Ooh. Yeah, he's wealthy.
Of the content I've been watching, he says he's so wealthy that he never has to worry about money. And that is a subtle appeal to authority. You should listen to him. He's so rich and successful.
That's true.
He
Especially
knows what
Americans
he's talking
being so
about.
finance
So
and
you
money
want to
focused.
invest in all of his financial content as much as possible. His main content being his financial audit show, a Dave Ramsey sort of format in which he often is giving financial advice to people. Yet as opposed to Dave Ramsey, who has people call in, he brings guests on in person onto his show and then yells at them and calls them a crazy bitch.
Why?
Oh man, if it wasn't so woman focused, this would be a pretty decent criticism.
Did you do this, you crazy?
Yeah.
What the f did I even just say? That's insane.
Oh, she's a crazy bitch.
But beyond being inspired,
I mean, there was the there's a situation, I think a couple, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, where it might have been an abusive relationship and Caleb immediately called the police. Let's see. Nope, that's not the one. That was a good one though. I liked it. That one was freaky. Oh, here it is. Yeah, financial audit's most abusive husband.
You blame me for everything you don't talk.
There is a
Fair enough.
physical choking, collars, grabbing, pushing. That doesn't happen. Stopping someone from leaving, that doesn't happen. That's not love. That's not love, and that is not how a man should treat.
This feels like acting, though, for real. Sorry, that was Deadlock. I have Deadlock builds open.
Self-help books, Caleb Hammer's biggest inspiration is undoubtedly Dave Ramsey. Caleb Hammer credits Dave Ramsey as one of the reasons he was able to get free from his own debts. He told Insider...
But yeah, it's like... I don't know. I really feel like he does criticize the men and the women roughly equally. The problem is he definitely has like a way more goonery focus on the women. And the men, it's funny because he'll bring on the women who are like, I think like almost 60 or 70% of the time are like OnlyFans or Fansly or doing something like sexual or like hookers or strippers or whatever. Then he'll bring on the men and they're like literal like incels, autists, or like chads. It's so internet focused, all these people. I'm starting to hate it. And occasionally he'll bring on someone who's politically relevant. Like once in a while he'll bring on like, oh, this fucking illegal Guatemalan couple is $500,000 in debt. Like, okay. That would be the criticism. It is so internet focused it doesn't become real anymore. The jokes and the gaffes and the humor has outweighed any kind of financial aid that could be rendered to a viewer.
He has a lot of respect for Ramsey and his method, even giving out Dave Ramsey's advice and his methods in his own videos, like Ramsey's 50-30-20 rule.
I love Dave Ramsey. We're going to collaborate with them. I've been invited on the show like twice. Yeah. I just travel anxiety.
Once Caleb Hammer rose to YouTube fame, Governor Whitmer let Caleb Hammer audit the Michigan state budget on his show Financial Audit.
Ladies and gentlemen, special episode today with the governor of Michigan. I'm going to be auditing the state's
If I remember
finances.
right, they barely went over anything in this video. They just talked about like policies.
But Caleb Hammer had his own spin and his own style on the sort of Dave Ramsey system. And that was that Caleb Hammer was known to give tough love and...
This is just like flying past what could be good criticism.
Hard truths through his financial audits. As someone posted in Reddit review, Caleb Hammer is the Dr. Phil of finance, all blustery, right-wing, sensational and disdain for his guests. Bruh, I literally just tell people to spend less than they make, pay off bad debt, and talk a little tea. I guess I'm a auntie. If you're asking...
Seriously? Okay. I don't even know where that's supposed to go. Besides Caleb Hammer, like, I don't know, being whatever. To me, the good criticism is that Caleb Hammer portrays himself as a character that's blusterous and easily angered and hot-headed and gets like this high-pitched voice, whenever that's also just his genuine personality. He's also just like that. He can pretend to be angry and he can also get very angry. When he's pretending to be angry, he can at least go in a direction and be reasonable. Whenever he's actually angry, he can't. He's actually angry. And these are indiscernible without an agreeable point, an understandable, agreeable point that both sides can agree on.
Why a dude who studied music briefly in college is now qualified to be giving financial advice or yelling financial shame on the internet to people?
What? What am I trying to do?
You're saying, yeah, I could see you don't understand. Very condescending. You're yelling at me at the same time. It's like, how can I try and understand something when you're yelling at me at the same time?
Well, I don't know.
That
something when you're yelling at me at the same time.
Qualified to give them.
I don't know.
That pile.
Do you ever have people question whether or not you're qualified to give them advice?
I've had interviews where people ask that, or people get upset. If you need a specific license to say, hey, if you make $100 a month, you shouldn't spend $120 on fast food, you know, honestly, f off.
A Business Insider article describes Caleb Hammer's approach as...
Okay, but like, is that like his legal perspective, or is that his... I mean, it's his opinion. It's not his legal perspective, but the legal does... That's the reason he doesn't give like real advice. That's the reason he does just say, hey, you make $4,500 in a month. You spent like $2,000 on food and your rent is $3,000. Don't do that.
He does it all with a heavy dose of tough love.
I mean, that's what he just said. I feel so
away
fucking dumb
with
for
his
saying
advice
that.
to cut overspending, often getting pretty annoyed in the process. He
I mean, that's
regularly
it, basically.
tells his guests,
this is the formula. This is a part of the formula. It's just work through how they overspent, even though you can just see that they overspent from the beginning. And try to go through their behavior in a way to pinpoint, like, oh, this is why you overeat, is you're sexually tense, but not do it in like a therapized way. And then it just gets, sometimes it's funny. I think it's just gotten annoying now.
he's angry at the dead, not at you. In another Business Insider article, they claim his plans are aggressive, mandating that people immediately stop eating out and sell their beloved cars because of the high interest rates.
Is that aggressive? You should not eat out if you are scared of pussy. Fuck off. You shouldn't eat out if you're making like just barely over your needs or your needs and savings and whatever. And you should usually sell a car because usually the people that are going on his show are buying like, oh, I'm gonna buy I make fucking $30,000 a year, but I'm gonna buy a fucking new Audi RX 2026. Like, yeah, that's dumb.
What have you noticed about human nature?
Definitely some sense of entitlement.
Dude, that guy has a Diet Coke. You know what? I'm gonna get a Diet Coke. Quick bathroom break, everybody. Take 2 minutes. Okay, we're back. Oh my gosh.
hate saying that word because a lot of it gets politically charged, but a lot of people think they had a hard day at work and are entitled to pick up the meal. Okay, go do it.
Yeah, just keep working as hard as possible and stop spending money on frivolous things like...
That's not what he said, though.
Food. On top of that, sell your car in a car-dependent country. All those stupid decisions you're making.
Well, it's not... Oh my gosh. So it's like, if you have worked really hard, if you are making well above your needs, it's fine to go out once in a while, health-wise once in a while, but if fiscally you're making a lot of money, go out whenever you want. But health-wise, you probably shouldn't. That's fine. And if you have bought a new car, you should sell it for an older car. I don't think he's ever said don't have a car, besides to couples where they only need one. And this is one of the things that makes me think that it's scripted. I don't know if I've ever had I don't know if there's ever been anybody on the show since Lindsay took over that's actually had like a beater shitter car. It's always been someone with some kind of car debt or an extra car. Not someone who's like running down a 2010 Honda Civic or a 2007 fucking Nissan. I don't even know what the Nissan basic sedan model is, but you guys get what I mean.
Making. Like, a car and food are your fault. It's definitely not signs of an exploitative system that's collapsing.
And you're going to live like no one else. You're going to live on nothing. Beans and rice, rice and beans, so that later you never have this stress again. Does that sound like a good idea?
These narratives...
I have done this. Yeah, it actually helps a lot financially. You probably only have a couple years of it in you to do something like that, to eat the same bullshit that's like just enough nutrients to get through the day. That actually does help a lot financially. Does it suck? Cock and balls? Yeah, it fucking does. Is it helpful if you're in a bad financial position? Absolutely.
Also create a story of self-blame and punishment over the systemic problems created.
I kept getting very... honestly kind of upset. It would be rare for me to feel sympathy for them.
Take this post made in Kiplinger, where someone says, when I was in college, Dave Ramsey's voice echoed in my head every time I stood at the checkout line. His words, you must gain control over your money or the lack of it will forever control you, were often enough to stop me from buying things I didn't need, like another pair of shoes. Instead, I ate rice and beans, lived frugally and focused on one goal, becoming debt-free. For someone just starting, his strict plan gave me the structure I needed at the time. More recently, I discovered Caleb Hammer on YouTube. His financial audit show hooked me with its mix of brutal honesty.
Oh wait, you know what? We should see if this is credited correctly. If I just type in Kiplinger, what comes up? Oh, it is actually like a financial news site. Ah, but you didn't credit the author. You didn't credit the author, Quam. I literally don't know how to get to whatever you fucking said.
Tough love.
I'm sure I could find it by typing in like Kiplinger, Dave Ramsey / Caleb Hammer.
As a millennial facing today's challenges, high inflation, rising home prices, and the reality of planning for retirement, I now find myself blending Ramsey's discipline with Hammer's urgency when working on my finances. Capitalism isn't falling apart. You just need to eat more rice and beans.
I mean, yeah, we are in probably for another crash. We try to escape it. The boom and bust cycle is not, as far as I understand it, inescapable. And so we are headed for that bust. We are going to have another bust very soon. I don't think it matters whether we have tariffs or not. We're hitting it. I think like most of the world's gonna hit it because we live in like an incredibly globalized society. But even if we didn't, every fucking country would have their own timed fucking boom and bust cycle. So it's not like capitalism is dissolving. We just have a lot of bubbles at once that are also likely going to pop at once. And It is going to fuck over a lot of people. Whatever. I don't even know. What did she say?
Myself blending Ramsey's discipline with Hammer's urgency when working on my finances. Capitalism isn't falling apart. You just need to eat more rice and beans.
So true.
Or as the Gen Z TikTokers like to do, eat a savory snack plate with canned sardines. Where are my savory girls at?
Assemble a savory girl snack plate.
But my question is, though there are people who overspend and make bad financial decisions, is this something you should be shaming private people for on your large platform? Is there a more productive way to do this, to help people? My thoughts are
I think the main thing is the difference between now and 100 years ago, whenever boomers were coming around, making their money, is that we live, and it's partly due to AI, but I think we were headed there 10 years ago. I think we now live in an extremely low trust society, where every single person who gets hired to do the most basic thing has to be judged incredibly heavily. To the point where it's just slowing down the process because everyone's fucking lazy. Everyone is. I'm lazy as fuck. No. I mean, that's partly it. But it does feel like the judgment to get into any kind of position, corporate, is hard. But even down to like, maybe not Dollar Tree, but it feels like Target, Walmart, Starbucks, everything's gotten a lot harder. Like everybody has a much tighter margin that they need to uphold, and they can't risk anything, especially not hiring somebody that they think either won't show up or whatever. And we are just incredibly risk adverse while also having no trust, meaning that there is basically no benefit to hiring somebody who hasn't already worked for you and has proven to be good. Combined with bubbles, we're in a bad situation.
The real harmful actions are
that's my opinion. I'm not a financier.
People that are promoting bad behavior online, promoting the systemic problems like overconsumption, wealth disparity, and scammy behavior. When someone's promoting this behavior because they're profiting off the system, like a Becca Bloom who's a billionaire, or a Jaclyn Hill who's promoting her discount code to her millions of fans, profiting off of them getting poorer. Instead, Caleb Hammer brings on private individuals who have no platform and shames them for the personal decisions they've made in their life that may have put them in a bad.
Well, let's change bring them on to they decide to go on. They make a choice of their own free volition to go on. Now, can you say that he's manipulating stupid people? Yeah, you probably could. That might even be a good criticism. But she's not saying that.
Bad spot.
That's kind of hard as a single mother, but then you spend 40% on bullshit, and then I'm all of a sudden like, uh-oh, that seems like selfish mother. That seems like mother that I'm not 100%.
I mean, only 40%? That's not... Wait, 40% of her total paycheck or 40% of her total spending?
Supporting as the single mother anymore. Why'd you take some raw peen?
I was a teen mom. I had her at 18, 19.
That's teen mom? I guess it's
teen.
When I think teen mom, I think 15, 16. I wouldn't say teen mom. I wouldn't necessarily be throwing around teen mom from a technical point. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Caleb started the financial audit show.
Dude, what was that clip? Kwam, what are you trying to show me?
In 2022, and within a year had over 360,000 subscribers. The central idea of the show is to analyze guest spending habits, and while sometimes it can be helpful to have an outside perspective of someone saying, hey, maybe 50 labubu's was a little bit unnecessary.
Get boo-boos. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's a trend that's gonna
Do you need to buy
matcha latte paddle?
4 boxes of the Skull Panda My Little...
I actually thought she was going to go with Caleb has not collaborated with another financial YouTuber in ages. No Dave Ramsey, no coffee hour. I think that guy's also named Dave, which is why I sounded confused. And not really talking to anybody else. I think it's because those people, a lot of those people, are like as close to a like financial class that there is. Like they are businessmen first. Whereas Caleb is very much a YouTuber first. He does not come across as a businessman to me. He delegates all of his businessmanship to other people.
Pony collab
like Lindsay,
in hopes of getting
like
the
that
secret
Latino
surprise.
guy.
I don't know if buying thousands of Pokemon cards is the great investment you think it is.
I don't know. I actually, look, I'll be real. I'll be real. I know y'all will hate me for this. I've been thinking about scalping Pokemon cards. Those fucking not really. I'm not waking up to go to the fucking Target to get fucking Pokemon cards. That is a get rich quick scheme, literally. You know, you buy $250 of Pokemon cards, you sell it for $450. You profited $200. There you go. Is it worth your time? Probably not if you have an effective use of your time.
I know their value has gone up lately. Cards is the great investment you think it is. I know their value has gone up lately, but literally everything has gotten more expensive lately. Doesn't that just mean you're paying more for these cards than they once cost? Okay.
No. They're the same price as they used to be. However, people realize that if you artificially create scarcity by buying them all up and selling them through places with more barriers like eBay, or I don't know, somewhere else online, Facebook Marketplace, versus, you know, their normal to their normal audience, which is a kid asking their mom, "Hey, give me a fucking Pokemon card." It's going to be different. You're going to be able to charge more because you've created an inconvenient scarcity.
Hey, sorry, you're right. I don't get it. Instead, to have Caleb sit there and say, "You silly poor person who spends money on stupid stuff," and then call you slurs, feels a little...
Slurs? I think he's called some people the R word before. Dude, I'm 16 minutes in. I don't think I can do this.
A bit like when
I actually don't know if I can do this video.
News anchors said that the reason why millennials will never afford a home is because they spend too much money on coffees.
I like food. I love tacos. I love Starbucks.
This has been like a complete criticism for a while. People do spend way too much money on coffee and avocado toast. Okay, because like it's like people are like, oh, it's $10, it's $5, it's $10. Once in a while, it's not gonna hurt, and that's true. A lot of people tend to let themselves go because self-control is not actually all that common. And so what people will do is they will go once a week. Okay, that's not too bad. It's not great, but that's fine. Twice a week. Well, 3, 4, 5 times a week. Every single day going to work. Every single day going to and from work to get coffee. And that balloons the cost from what was originally, let's split the difference and say $7.50 to $75 a week. Load up times 4. You have what is that, $300? Yeah, that's bad.
So
you love Starbucks? Starbucks is bullshit and a waste of money, and you already know that by making your coffee at home and investing the rest. So now you need to do that with your energy drink as well. Make gamer subs at home for just 40 cents a serving.
And again,
Gamer subs is not that good. It's definitely better than like going to a store buying Starbucks. Price comparison to like an off-brand energy drink like Alani or Celsius or Ghost, not actually that bad. There's like I think their normal can would be like 20 cents more. I generally like gamer subs. I've had a few flavors. I haven't quite worked out the exact price difference. I don't know if what Caleb is saying is true. But it's not that different to buying like a cold can of energy drink at a store. Probably not a gas station. If you go above $2, I think, for a can of energy drink, it's not worth it.
Again, stop what you're doing. Get yourself on a written detailed plan. Stay out of a restaurant.
Save $1,000 for a starter emergency fund. Pay off all your debt using the debt snowball. Save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. Invest 15% of your income in retirement. Save for your children's college fund. Pay off your home early, build wealth, and give.
and get $1,000 set aside, and then work your way out.
That sounds ideal.
Debt.
People should buy less Costa coffees and not go out for dinner so often, and then they'll be able to pay their electricity bill.
This guy is a landlord, and this guy's standing there trying to give advice to people who are struggling to pay their bills, and the advice that he's giving them is stop buying Costa coffee and stop going on holiday. Like, honestly, if it was so easy that all of us could just stop buying a Costa coffee or a Pret coffee and be able to afford everything else, I think everyone would make that decision.
Like, I think there might be another reason at play, or a few other reasons. In late 2024, Caleb Hammer launched a YouTube membership program with its own website.
Okay, just no explanation of the other reasons.
By November 2025, Caleb Hammer's channel had accumulated 2 billion views, and it became the biggest membership channel on the platform.
The #1 YouTube membership won't stop growing. I'm talking about premium shows every day, Monday through Friday. Exclusive and uncensored financial audit episodes.
Caleb's channel became the biggest membership.
I mean, yes, economically, we are stagflating. It is a hard situation because stagflation is not common. We don't have a lot of previously, like, thought out solutions. And a lot of solutions to easily get out of it are also extreme with some kind of backlash. It is not easy
channel on the platform, which means people chose to pay Caleb money for him to give them financial advice. Again, what is the logic here? Caleb also signed with Creative Artists Agency. Now, to be fair,
that
a lot
the value provided to you will be greater than the value that you directly provide immediately to Caleb Hammer.
People seemed to like Caleb Hammer's early content, where he was giving out basic financial advice in a calm, collected way.
Well, did you know that you spent $218 more last month than you put in to your checking account?
That makes sense.
What are you willing to cut back on? Because you clearly have to.
Well, yeah. I think Caleb himself was a decent organizer. Not great. Because I think that that's just too much to manage for one person. Noah was a little bit better, and Lindsay so far has been the best. But I also don't trust that that all these people aren't actors.
And you hate cooking.
Don't be like me. That's about it.
Wait, why are we recycling points already?
He wasn't being too mean or hateful. And don't get me wrong, educational financial content is needed online. Most people in the United States lack financial literacy. So the more basic financial education that people are exposed to online, probably the better. So let's talk about some important statistics of wealth disparity and lack of financial education, particularly in the United States, but how Caleb Hammer's content might actually contribute to that, especially the shaming aspect. Graphic, I'm going to focus these statistics to mainly the United States. My point of this section being that there are systemic problems in the US that leave many Americans vulnerable, struggling, and in need of financial help. And also, US adults lack financial literacy, telling them they have the answer. Half of US adults lack financial literacy. Does that mean it's appropriate to laugh at them for making stupid financial decisions?
Oh, what are you?
His wife?
She's nuts. Poor man.
Okay, look, I get like financial literacy, like I get that it encompasses a lot of things, but the most basic stuff should be extremely simple. Because it's I don't know, I feel like it's so like animal brained that it's like amount of nuts go away more than nuts come in, you know, just fucking squirreling away money. But like I understand like financial literacy is like people not understanding that like, oh, the S&P has an average of 10%, and even though you can take your own personal risks that might be more, they are risks. You might make less than just investing in S&P 500. But it's also like, oh, I get $1,800 a month for my job, and my car costs $2,000. Let's get a car. Like, oh fuck, no, I can't pay it back. Now I need a credit card. And it's like, oh fuck, now I can't pay back the credit card. So now I got the credit card debt, and I got the car debt. And it's like, to what degree does financial literacy describe like good investing and financial habits versus how much does it describe conceptually the ability for you to count I'm definitely not describing it as well as I want to. I cannot find the words. It's really late. It's almost 1 a.m. and I lost an hour. Daylight
Financial audits,
savings.
guys, we might get canceled for it, but I think that is the actual title. Put it in the notes. That is the title. It's official.
In the US, a family of 4 earning under $30,000 a year is considered low income. In 2023,
that sounds pretty
over
bad.
36 million people lived in poverty, according to the census.
That's not too bad. 36 million people? That's not too bad.
I can't believe I have to say it.
Of a nation of like, what are we at, 500 million? That's pretty good, I think.
But you shouldn't laugh at poor people. But doing exactly that has become one of the most popular content genres in personal finance.
So, by the way, you shouldn't buy a Mercedes if you're a broke person. That's stupid.
Don't be debt dumb, people.
According to feedingamerica.org.
Okay, but like, what's wrong? Dude, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with fucking laughing at someone for buying a Mercedes when they have no money? That's funny.
Poverty is a complex issue with many causes.
And see what they do with it. You know? They're not gonna fucking pay it back. They might not give it back. I want to see what they'll do with that.
Here are some of the most common causes of poverty: low wages and unemployment, lack of affordable housing, racism and discrimination.
Dude, why are you double editing? I don't like this. It's jumping further away from the subject matter while also giving a red highlighter effect. That sucks. I would find racism and discrimination probably less likely. Education and healthcare would probably be more. If this is like an in order, like low wages is the #1 cause of poverty. I mean, yeah. It's funny because America is such like a business oriented country versus other countries that are more like government oriented. It's hard to describe, so just feel out the vibes of what I'm trying to describe right now. And America has like a higher, the problem with America is that its debt class is growing faster than its non-debted classes. You know, more people are becoming going into a situation where they cannot possibly pay back the debt that they have than there are people who can. And it's not like a majority. It's a pretty small minority, all things considered. However, that is destroying the banks and the credit unions that support everyone else. It's the 2008 crisis again, right? It's like you don't have that many people who own multiple homes, realistically. But because the banks are invested in those people and then everything fails, it hurts the other 90% of the population. And these can be rich people, they can be poor people, they can be middle class. I think that's one of the biggest issues. And it's also a big cause for low wage. It seems circular, something like that, and it is. Because the businessman might also have low wage. Because generally, if they have like a very good margin, they'll pass that on to their employees, especially if they're good, because their employees are generally making them that margin. I don't know. I agree that we live in a bad situation right now with the economy. Not sure how accurate this is. It's also not very descriptive.
Education and healthcare. Yet Caleb often discriminates in his own content, picking apart marginalized people and shaming them for being poor, contributing further to this system. In my opinion, wealth inequality has increased exponentially. Wealth gaps by race and ethnicity are large as well.
Oh, I see. Asian supremacy. Good job, Quam.
Caleb Hammer has been accused.
Look, dude, the Chinese restaurants are just so fucking good. Okay, and I'm not gonna stop going to him.
Of bigoted, racist, misogynistic content when he's supposedly distributing his financial education.
She's not willing to literally cook a meal.
Because I hate cooking. She has to maybe like step up a little bit when it comes to household.
Be honest with me. Do you feel any kind of resentment here? Okay, stay at home, Dad. We're breaking gender stereotypes.
Yeah, no cooking is bad. Cooking is the cheapest way to have nutrients in the future.
Stereotypes. Whoa! Every single person with a septum piercing are the same crazy bitch online that cancel everyone and go crazy. How often do you drop the hard R?
This clip is the most horrible. Caleb should have never platformed this, let alone laughed at this.
The hard R? What is the hard R?
The N-word.
Oh, all the time, like on the daily. He is one.
I mean, okay, so this is just the editor criticizing Caleb for this. This isn't even Quam, because Quam and the editor are not the same person. So it's like, this is just gonna have this here, and you could probably have an entire section dedicated to how Caleb like pussyfoots with his politics. But it's just gonna be this one clip from the editor.
He's in prison right now, which is why he's not here filming.
Your black husband is in prison.
Of course.
These very financial systems in place
That's a good image
have
of Caleb.
disparities between gender, race, class. So is Caleb Hammer contributing to the disparities within these systems with his content? I guess you can decide. What seems to be the only actual educational resource from Caleb's content is his financial audit blog, with simple blog posts that seem to have the intention of helping people establish basic financial literacy. So at least there's that. But this blog is attached to, you guessed it, a financial course, which if you've seen some of my past videos.
Okay. This is a very long section. I'm actually debating just calling it here because it is 1 a.m. I didn't expect the HellDivers thing to take so long. I think that ended up taking like an hour and 45, and it's been, what, 45 minutes, and we're only 20 minutes in. I'm not staying up until, if this is 2 timesing the length of the video, I am not staying up until 3 a.m. to finish this, guys. I'm sorry. I did start way too late, though. That is on me. I probably could have finished this if I started at the time that I wanted. It was 9 and not 11. But my voice is kind of going anyway, so in expectation of a stream continuing this video at the 23-minute mark, I will stop here. So good night. I hope you enjoyed our time together, and I'll see you tomorrow. Probably tomorrow.